In a small, busy town, there lived a woman named Meena. She owned a little roadside stall where she sold roasted corn, hot samosas, and sweet jaggery toffees. It wasn't much, but it was her only source of income. One gloomy day, dark clouds covered the sky and soon heavy rain began to fall. Meena quickly covered her stall, hoping the weather would clear. But the rain kept pouring. People hurried past with umbrellas, rushing home to stay dry. No one stopped to buy from her. Hour after hour passed. Her snacks sat untouched. The cheerful voices of customers she usually heard were missing. Instead, there was only the sound of rain and the sight of people running to shelter. By nightfall, Meena sat quietly, her heart heavy. Not a single sale today. What if tomorrow is the same? How will I survive? She whispered to herself, tears mixing with raindrops on her face. But then she lifted her head and thought, if no one wants to buy, maybe I can still give. At least my food won't go to waste. And maybe, just maybe, someone will smile tonight. So, with courage in her heart, she stood up and began offering her food freely to the late-night passers-by. Please take some. It's free tonight, she said warmly. Some people were surprised, some were shy, but soon children, tired workers, and even elders accepted her gift with gratitude. Their faces lit up with unexpected joy. One man, drenched in the rain, looked especially broken. Meena gently handed him roasted corn and said softly, sometimes giving costs nothing, but it can change everything. Don't lose hope, the storm will pass. The man stared at her, eyes glistening. He wanted to speak, but simply nodded and walked away into the rainy night. A few days later, a shining car stopped near Meena's stall. The same man stepped out, but this time he looked stronger, calmer, and grateful. Do you remember me? He asked. Meena nodded slowly. That rainy night, I was crushed. My business had collapsed, and my mother had just passed away. I felt I had lost everything. But your kindness, your attitude, reminded me that life is still worth living. You gave me food, but more than that, you gave me hope. He then handed her a set of papers and pointed to a nearby corner shop. My business has recovered, and I've bought this shop for you. You no longer have to sit in the rain by the roadside. Meena's eyes filled with tears of gratitude. She folded her hands and said, What I gave you was small, but what you've given me is a new life. Months later, as she worked in her new shop, Meena noticed another woman sitting sadly by the roadside, her fruits unsold in the rain. The sight reminded Meena of her own past. She walked over, offered help, and said gently, Don't lose heart. I was once where you are today. Life changes not when we wait for kindness, but when we choose kindness first. And so, the kindness she once gave continued its journey. Let's learn from the story. 1. Gloomy, meaning dark, sad, or depressing. Example, the sky looked gloomy before the heavy rain started. 2. Shelter, meaning a safe or covered place that protects you from weather or danger. Example, people ran to find shelter from the storm. 3. Whispered, meaning to speak very softly, using your breath instead of your voice. Example, she whispered a prayer before going to sleep.